My name is Peter Martin. I'm Vice President of Business Value Consulting here at Schneider Electric. I just joined Schneider Electric through the Invensys organization. And I'd like to spend just a couple of minutes talking about what process automation is all about. That's what Invensys does. We do process automation. The best way to describe it, I think, is to go back and look at the way manufacturing works. Early on, when manufacturing was done, you really had two types of manufacturing. On one side, it was putting things together, assembling things. On the other side, it would be more like cooking things, like you do in a kitchen. And so you either assembled something like a house, or you put something together and cooked it like a cake. And those were the basic two ways that you could produce products. Now with time, some of that production was limited by the manufacturing style of putting it together and cooking it in a kitchen. And there was a commercial demand to make more products more quickly through manufacturing operations. So a third type of manufacturing evolved. That third type is called continuous production. And that's the focus of most process automation. So you have three types of manufacturing: discrete manufacturing, which is putting things together; batch manufacturing, which is mixing things up and cooking them in batches; and continuous production, such as oil refining, petrochemicals. Invensys was primarily focused on continuous production, although we do quite a bit of batch processing as well. One of the problems with continuous production is, in order to make all of the fluids and solids come together to produce a product, there's a lot of piping, there's a lot of temperature, there's a lot of flows, there's a lot of storage in tanks, and each one of those things has to be controlled precisely to make the correct product at the end. Just to give you an idea, in the typical oil refinery, you may have 22,000 measurements that have to be made around flows, levels, temperatures, and pressures, and many of those have to be precisely controlled for the correct products, for gasoline, for diesel fuel, for jet fuel, to come out correctly on the backside. So controlling those elements is what we call process control. The platform on which the process control resides is called process automation. Back in the 1960s and 70s, the platform for process automation changed from being electronic analog equipment to digital computers. When the digital computer was introduced, that allowed a lot more capability than just basic process control. So over the years, the capability involved in process automation has continued to increase and increase and increase because of the basic technologies underlying that. The digital computer gives us tremendous flexibility. So today, when we talk about a process automation system, sure, the primary function is to do process control, which is very complex and very scientifically difficult, but we've been able to do that for years. And the idea of process control is to control the efficiency of those operations. But over time, we have started to apply control theory to other areas in industrial operations. For example, controlling the performance of the industrial assets. That's called asset performance control. So now you have process control and asset performance control. Controlling the safety of industrial plants. That's called safety control. Controlling the environmental impact that the plants are making. Environmental control. And recently, we've been working on applying control theory to controlling the profitability of the plants. As the speed of business has continued to increase over the last 15 to 20 years, we've had to go from managing the profitability to literally controlling the profitability in real time. So when you look at what the scope of process automation is today, it's well beyond what it was in 1970. It involves controlling the efficiency, the profitability, the safety, the environmental impact, and the performance of every industrial asset in that operation. If we do our job well, and we do, we can help customers to literally make more money while keeping a more safe operation and keeping the environment in a very sustainable format. This is impressive because when you think of it, we impact a lot of the biggest challenges the world faces today. If you look at what we're impacting, we impact energy. One of our goals in process automation is make energy available and inexpensive everywhere in the world. We impact water. One of the biggest problems the world faces today is having enough clean water. We impact that by providing clean water. Do you realize that 2/3 of our world is covered by water, and yet still today, over 500,000 children a year die from dirty water? That's inexcusable, and we're working to solve that problem. Once you solve the water problem, you can solve world hunger, quite literally. When I was a child, my father used to tell me whenever I took on a project that was too big, don't try to solve world hunger. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's time to solve world hunger, and that's part of what we do. We also deal with world health, the environment, world safety. When you think of it, what process automation is involved in is dealing with some of the greatest challenges man faces today. This is what we do. Process automation is significant, it's a bit complex, and it's ever evolving. We've driven it to a certain point at this point in time, but I've got to tell you, moving forward, the opportunities are great, and the results we believe we can produce for our clients and for the world in general will be very significant. Thank you for taking a few minutes to hear what I had to say about process automation. I hope that helps you to understand what it is we do and where it is we're going.